All right, it's 105.1 The Bounce. I'm Lisha B with the Morning Rollout, and I'm so excited to have this interviewee in the building. She goes by Becks, but I've loved her since like 2018,
Yes.
2017. And now that I'm living in Detroit, I'm so excited to be around her so much more. But the reason why you may or may not know her is because she is the founder of Black Owned with Becks. She travels around Metro Detroit area and also plenty of other U.S. locations as well to showcase and highlight different Black-owned businesses. So welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you. Like, I'm so excited to be here today.
Literally, as soon as I knew that this was happening, I had to bring you here.
Yes.
So I just wanted to share the fact that, one, love you so much.
Love you too,
And the
girl.
fact that you have cultivated an amazing platform within the past 3 years has been such an amazing journey to watch you do all this. I mean, I was at the first bra call.
Yes.
So it's like watching your success has been amazing. So I think that we need to start from the beginning. What is Black Owned with Becks? Because I know I described it a little bit, but what is it from your words?
Okay, so Black Owned with Becks is, I would say, it's a movement and it's a community. So I started Black Owned with Becks, and let me know if I'm like overstepping or if you have
go
any
ahead.
other questions. But like, Black Owned with Becks really started out as just a passion project, right? Like, I just wanted to see more and more people shop Black owned businesses. Well, really myself. Like,
Right.
I wanted to shop more Black owned businesses. I was seeing how we were being treated in, you know, a lot of these stores and a lot of these places. It was like we were unwelcome, and I just didn't feel like, how do you feel when you feel like you have to give your money to to people who don't care about
Right.
you, right? And so like I was like, I just started researching, right? I started looking for Black owned businesses that like I could use within my own life, and I started to learn that there was so much more, right, than just I think a lot of people, when they think Black owned businesses, sometimes they think like just clothing or
Right.
they think one specific area or restaurants, but it's so much more than that. And I realized that, like, in sharing it on my personal page, that I wanted to start sharing it with people. And that's essentially how Black Owned with Becks was born. And so really, Black Owned with Becks, at the end of the day, is a community, it's a movement, and it's about allowing people to live that journey and also live the lifestyle of buying Black, and making it so that it's something you do in your everyday life. I think a lot of times we lose that. Let me step back. When it comes to shopping Black owned businesses, I think a lot of people are like, well, how do I make this switch, or how do I navigate this?
Right.
And a lot of times people are like, I'll buy all the products, and then something doesn't work for them and they kind of give up, right?
Mhm.
And it's about showing people that this is a journey. You're learning about what you do and don't like in
Right.
this. You're almost like relearning, right?
Right.
Just like you when people decide what laundry detergent they like, right, versus the other. It's the same thing with shopping Black owned businesses. And so this is really just a way to build a community that of people who want to start living that lifestyle of shopping primarily Black owned, right, and keeping Black owned businesses alive and thriving. So yeah.
And I love that. I love that you specified the fact that this is a lifestyle change, and the fact that you use the analogy of, like, it's like picking and dissecting or differentiating from different laundry detergent brands.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of going for like a Tide, you would go for a Black owned business laundry detergent.
Exactly.
So maybe or maybe not, you'll remember, what was the first businesses that you highlighted when you were starting this journey?
Wow. Okay. So I actually, this is gonna sound so crazy, but I actually was doing like, I scrolled to like the bottom of my page the other day just to see, right, because I realized that the anniversary was coming up, and I got a little nostalgic.
Yeah.
And the ones that I remember, so there's one, they're now called Buttered. But
Yes.
before, they were Noya Butters, right? And they started at A&T, so that was one of the first ones I talked about. I also talked about Vicky Cakes. What do you call it? Brandon Blackwood.
Yes, the
And these are
purses.
the shades from Brandon Blackwood, actually.
Yes.
Love these. So love these down. I also have like a pink pair of these. But yeah, so that was, I said Buttered, Vicky Cakes. There's also a bookstore. It's called Good Books Atlanta, and Good Books ATL on Instagram, and they actually curate book lists for people, right? And so you can tell them what you're looking for, how much you want to spend, and they will literally put together a nice curated book set of books for you, and they'll ship it to your house. I love using their service. I'm telling you, a lot of people don't know about it.
I didn't, but now I'm locked in.
Like a custom curation, like, and so like if you want to explore, you're like, I don't really know what I want to, like, I don't have a specific title that I want to read necessarily, but I know I like a specific genre I want to explore. It's amazing for that. It's one of my, favorite ways to just buy books. And I got to start, like, once all these wedding expenses are out the way, I plan on buying some more books. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I definitely need to remember what that name is. What was the name of?
Good Books.
Good Books, because they will be hearing from me for sure as a book reader.
It's called Good Books. I believe Good Books Atlanta, and their Instagram is Good Books ATL.
I love that.
Yes.
So with the fact that not only do you highlight Black-owned businesses, you are a Black-owned business in your own right.
Yes.
So how are you able to maintain the growth of your platform with like starting from ground zero and not having many maybe influencers around you? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but how did you, cultivate and like continue to be consistent? Because I feel like having a platform like that when everyone's expecting, more from you, it's probably a lot to maintain on your own. So like, how are you doing that?
Okay, so one thing I've learned through this is that I will never, a lot of people think like, when they see all the finished products, they see all of the things, they're like, wow, she really has it together. She really knows what she's doing. And I'm here to tell you that running a business and transitioning from a passion project into a business, you literally sometimes don't know what you're doing. Like you're winging it, and I don't mean winging it as in like, okay, I'm gonna just see what sticks. It's more so like, hey, we're just gonna hope and pray that this is, that this calculated move I'm making is going to stick, right? Or like, let's see what works for people and start to curate and, work in that way. So like one of the things I always talk about is like I struggled for a really long time with transitioning it into a business because I felt like I was gonna lose my morals.
Oh, okay. And so how so?
Because when you start, I started this as a passion project. I was doing these things for free, like it was really just like I was using the money that I had to buy these products and do these things. And I still do that primarily. Like most of the things on my page are, things that I've purchased myself, or in some sort of manner, right?
Right.
But one thing people don't realize is that when you have to start asking the same businesses that you're promoting, right, for money, it can be hard. Like I really struggled with that. Like how do I do that without feeling like I'm taking away from them? You know what I mean? Because my whole goal is to promote and support Black-owned businesses, right? But then I realized that this is a service that they also need, right? And so and I don't necessarily have to follow the grain of like, here's my prices and this is how things work. And that's kind of how I've built my business structure from there, whether it's content curation, whether it's event planning or event curation for your business. I'm literally working with the business on a one-on-one, like almost like on a custom basis, right? Like, yes, I have a starting price, but everything that I do is to work with a business. So like, for example, there are some businesses, they're just starting out, right? Like I don't feel comfortable charging them the same amount that I may be charging another
more established
business. Right, exactly. Or, working out ways, okay, maybe you don't necessarily have all the funds, right, to meet my minimum, but how can we meet halfway so that you can still get something out of this because I want to, help you promote your business. Right. And so that's really how I've, navigated that sort of feeling. But I think we kind of veered from your original question was how am I balancing it? I'm an engineer by trade. That's what I do for my full-time job. And I've just learned how to set boundaries. It was very hard. I'm not going to lie. It's not something that was easy. I burnt myself out a couple of times trying to learn how to balance it. But I think I've gotten to a place now where I've learned how to set those boundaries and set myself up for success without stressing myself out. You know what I mean? Because I know that this is my passion. I know that this is what I want to do. So I'm just learning how, once again, like I said, I'm still learning how to navigate all of that. But one of the things I also learned is the importance of organization, the importance of also I have there's a planner. It's called the Top 3 Planner. It has changed my life. It is also from a Black-owned brand called Simplement. And this planner is it has literally helped me just change my mindset when it comes to the things I have to do. I'm one of those people who, like, I have a running list of things going on in my head all the time, right?
Right.
And sometimes that can get overwhelming. So how do you, sort of start to structure that? Like I said, with having a full-time job, with also, right now for the last 2 years, I've been also planning my wedding. So
right.
Like, that's like a whole nother aspect of things. Like, it feels like almost like a whole nother job in itself, right? Doing that.
I can imagine.
How do you like balance those things, right? And so literally having this planner has allowed me to set my goals on a yearly, weekly, quarterly, monthly basis. And then it also allows you to set your goals for the day. So you can have 3 goals for the day, your top 3 goals, and you can check those off. And that shows you what you've accomplished for the day, right? It's
right.
Just take your top 3, finish those, and then worry about the rest. And that has helped change my mindset completely. So what I usually do is I set a top 3, so 1 for my wedding, 1 for work, and then 1 for Black Owned with Becks. And that's literally how I structure my day. Is like, if I finish these 3 things today, for all 3 of those things, I've accomplished something across the board. And like I said, that has literally helped change my mindset when it comes to balancing Black Owned with Becks and everything else I have going on in my personal life. So yeah.
I feel like you just put me on game because when you just explained all that, my mind also has like several checklist items that I have to get done. But focusing on 3 would make me feel so accomplished at the end of the day. Because at least I did those 3 things.
That's what I'm saying.
If I didn't get anything else done.
Exactly. And it gives you the space to still write down the rest of your, the rest of your goals.
Right.
But I love the fact that it really highlights those top 3. Like, hey, like, this is what you need to do. If you did this today, everything else can be moved to tomorrow, and you would have done something.
I love that.
Yeah, it has really helped change my mindset completely. Yeah.
I love that you have a Black-owned business for like pretty much every aspect of your life.
I'm telling you, and it took about 5 years to build this. One thing I always say, so we are celebrating our 3-year anniversary.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. But one thing that I always, tell people is that I actually started this page in 2020. It was a very quiet, like, this was literally just for friends to, like, see what I'm sharing about, because I was sharing it on my stories,
right.
We're in the middle of the pandemic, and they're like, make a page for it. And I'm like, yeah, I think I will. And so I started just sharing things there. And in sharing things there, I was in grad school, I was working full time, and I was like, I just had to like kind of put it to the side. And so like in those 2 years of me putting it to the side, because I picked it back up in, was that 2022? So stopped it in 2021, early 2021, and then picked it up in 2022. And in that time frame, I was learning how to shop Black owned for my lifestyle. I took that time, even though I wasn't necessarily sharing those things, I was still buying things. I was still, finding ways to go to Black owned, establishments. I was still, building that lifestyle for myself. And, there was a time where I was discouraged because I was like, dang, I should not have taken that time off. But I think it has really helped me structure the way that I've built Black Owned with Becks to what it is now.
Right.
That year and a half, I've really been able to just continue to build on that and, kind of find my focus, find the ways that it was going to work and build from there. And it's really been working. So, yeah.
I love that you highlighted the fact that like a time of doubt or a time of downtime, it was not really downtime for you. Like you used that to cultivate your craft. And now clearly it's worked because your craft has thousands of followers now?
Like we're at almost 12K followers. It's so crazy to me. Sometimes I think back
and you just celebrated 10K like not that long ago.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy. I blinked and I was like, well, 10K is gone. Like, what am I gonna do? But yeah, one of the things that I also like to talk about when I talk about like just that down period was the fact that I didn't know when I was coming back. I didn't even know if I was gonna come back.
Right.
But somebody reached out to me, and shout out to him, Mr. Buy Black Detroit. He's another really great content creator and just social media page that shares a lot of Black-owned businesses within Detroit, and reached out to me on my personal page because this was before, like I said, I had like maybe 170 followers when I came back to Black Owned with Becks. And so I literally still had like my personal page in my bio and all of
Right,
that.
right.
And he reached out to me on my personal page and he said, hey, you were doing this before and it's really something that's needed. You need to come back and continue to do this.
Wow.
And like, it's so crazy because like I sit here and think about like if he had not, and I at the time I was thinking about coming back, but I didn't know if I was going to.
Right.
But
you needed that push.
When somebody random reaches out to you, somebody like you're thinking, oh, nobody's noticed that the page is gone. None of that, right? You're not thinking about any of that. For somebody who you don't even know to reach out to you, to find a way to get to you and say, hey, this is needed, it really spoke to me. And so that's one of those moments there. I always shout him out whenever I'm like talking to people about how I started, because if it was not for him, you know, like giving me that last push, I don't think I would have come back. I don't know when I would have come back, I should say. So yeah.
Well, shout out to him. Go ahead and shout him out one more time.
Yes,
By Black
Mr.
Detroit.
Mr. By Black Detroit.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we needed Black Owned with Becks, okay? Especially now that I'm here.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
literally have been using your page as a godsend.
Yes.
Because I didn't realize how many things that I needed to like find again, and not just like average thing like doctors and stuff like that. I need to figure out who my locticians are. I need to figure out where the grocery stores are. Like the fun stuff are at.
I got you.
So can you just share maybe like 3 to 5 places or platforms that people who are new to the Metro Detroit area should look for at, and you know?
Yes. Okay. So I'll name a couple of really great influencers to follow, Black influencers to follow. And then I will also name some places that I go.
Yes.
I'll try to be diverse in what I share, simply because, I'll try to be diverse in what I share. I probably will. I'll share some food and I'll share some just like local businesses. Okay. So I should have thought about this because this is hard because I have so many running through my head right now. But the first one that comes to mind, and I'll shout them out first because they are right here on my neck, from Harper Ray. This necklace is from Harper Ray. They are a Black-owned, women-owned jewelry store. And they're now in Ferndale. Yes, I believe they're now in
We
Ferndale.
love a good Ferndale moment.
No, Royal Oak. They're in Royal Oak.
That's still right down the street.
Yep, it's right down the street. And they recently moved a couple of months ago. Their new store is beautiful, beautiful. Like, it's definitely a place to check out. But it's one of those things where I don't think people talk enough sometimes about, like, you know, being able to find like a place to get some nice, you know, jewelry from. And so Harper Ray is a place that is probably one of the first other Black-owned businesses that I started going to. Like, I've taken my sister there. Like, we've loved going there and just getting pieces. A lot of the, you know, like, jewelry that I have now, especially when it comes to shopping in stores, is from Harper Ray.
Harper Ray.
So definitely one of those places that you should check out. Like, they have something for everybody. And, like, I'm a gold girly, and I feel like sometimes a lot of businesses don't necessarily focus on gold pieces.
Right.
And I love that they have a range. So they have gold, they have silver, and they like to make sure that they have like both, like, you know, pieces so that people can enjoy. They even a lot of times have rose gold. They also, like I said, they also have, you know, some real gold jewelry as well, custom. So definitely a place to check out. Definitely one of my top 5. I'll shout out a food place next, and that is Ima, or some people call it Ima, some people call it Ima, IMA. They are a Black-owned ramen place.
There's
so
a
good.
Black-owned ramen spot?
Yes, and they have 3 locations.
Wow.
So they have one in Madison Heights, Troy, like right on 14 Mile and John R. I literally lived right down the block from there. I used to go there all the time. And then there's also 2 in Detroit. I believe there's one in Midtown, and I don't remember where the other one is. But there's a total of 3 of them. Love going there. They have some amazing appetizers. They don't just have ramen. They have other noodles as well. And other dishes. But so good. Love bringing people there.
I love ramen. You just made me so excited.
So let's think of another place. Ooh, this is so hard. I'm gonna shout out the lobster food truck. So if you're into
there's
seafood,
a lobster food truck.
lobster food
There's
truck.
so many just
The
random
lobster
food trucks.
Yes, the lobster food truck and pit stop. I could go on and on about food trucks because there's a couple I'm gonna shout out too, and I could go on all day. So I might do more than 3 to 5, but you can cut however you want. But the lobster food truck and lobster pit stop, I believe is their other lobster food truck pit stop. So they have a location in Dearborn, like a physical location that stays. It's not a truck. It's like a
Right,
storefront.
brick and mortar. Yeah.
A brick and mortar. Thank you. And they have that, and then they have their food truck that also is around a lot of places. They do all sorts of events. You can hire them. But then, like I said, you can find them just about anywhere. They also share a really great schedule. Love the lobster food truck. It's one of the businesses that we were going to in the pandemic. We always laugh. Chef Nick, shout out to him. So when we were in the pandemic, he was in Dearborn, right? And so used to live in Dearborn with my now fiance. And it was COVID, so you had to drive up. Like you could not like walk up to the window. You had to drive up to the window. And like we just started talking, and his now fiance, I believe, or his partner, went to A&T. And so,
What?
Yes. Turns out he used to like live down there in Greensboro and everything. And his his now partner went to A&T. And like we always just laugh because like Aggie Pride is literally
everywhere.
Because after that, like us and Chef Nick, we've been like that. Like, yeah. So shout out to the lobster food truck. It's my fiance's favorite, it's his favorite Black-owned business. I'm like almost 100% outside of mine, but
obviously.
But literally lobster food truck, love it down. And then to name a few other food trucks that I like, the Egg Roll Diva, some amazing egg rolls. There's also Junk Food and Friends. They have like literally like when you're ready to pick out, you go to Junk Food and Friends. Like so good.
Noted.
And there's also who else should I name?
You got a Rolodex.
I'll leave it at those for right now. I'll leave it at those food trucks for right now, and I'll keep pushing. But in terms of other places to eat, I also want to shout out The Kitchen by Cooking with Q, specifically because one, love going there. I've been going there since before the pandemic. I actually celebrated my 21st birthday there.
Wow.
But they do this thing called the Wind Down Fridays, right? And so essentially you go there, I don't think you can bring your own drink anymore, but because they started serving drinks there. I'm really happy for her with that too. But they do the Wind Down Fridays, and you go there, you have a great time. They have a live DJ, but just the vibe there is immaculate all the time. I love going there. I love just popping in there. Q is such a genuine spirit, and the food is amazing, and it's also vegan. They're primarily vegan, so they do serve like other chicken, if you ask for it and stuff like that. But they're a vegan shop, so yeah, very very amazing. And
I love some vegan food, and if you're saying it's good, I'm definitely gonna have to stop by the kitchen.
The kitchen.
And maybe one more. We got time for one more.
Okay, one more business that I'm gonna shout out. Give me a category, and maybe that will help me, because right now,
something that you can do with your girls, like a girls' date.
So there is Bath Savvy. And then I'll also shout out one other business right after this. But there's Bath Savvy. Bath Savvy is a Black-owned, essentially like beauty store, I would say, or like body product store. But they actually allow you to come in and make your own products. So you can make your own scented body oil, your own scented scrub. And I think there's one other that you can make, but those two for sure. Or in your own like shea butter. And when I tell you,
we need shea butter.
Let me tell you, I did a little thing there last year. We had such an amazing, amazing time. I definitely suggest that if you're trying to do a little girls thing, that's definitely a business that you want to check out. And then 2 honorary mentions would be Hallie & Co. They are a Black-owned ring making place.
Love Hallie & Co. They will be seeing me soon, because I walked in and perused and realized, no, I need to spend my money.
And then I'll also shout out 2 Black-owned candle making places, and that's Brooks Candles. They're a little further out West, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also I'm blanking on the name, but there's also one in the Oakland Mall in Troy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we love the black gems. Come on now.
Yeah.
But they need to follow you for the rest of them.
Oh
Clearly.
yeah. Clearly, I have so many that you can do. Oh, and then Lily's and Elise, which is a tea shop. But I'm done.
Come on, T-Shop.
I'm done.
No, but
yes.
I love that you're so passionate that there's like more popping into your brain.
Literally, I'm like, dang, I should have written all these down and then I could have shared. But no.
But it's okay. That's what your platform's for. And we want them to obviously go there. And speaking of the platform, obviously, 3 years that you've been able to create this. What is the next 3 years going to look like for Black Owned with Becks? What can we expect? What can you tease? Because I know there's got to be things you're working on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I know like people say my fiance says I'm like crazy all the time. Obviously in a good way.
Right.
But I don't know how I do it. I just thank God that I can do it. That's all I'm gonna say before I say these things.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that in the next 3 years, Black Owned with Becks is going to really just transform. And when I say that, I mean that we're going to be stepping into spaces and really trying to bring not only Black owned businesses together, we're trying to uplift Black owned business owners, we're trying to uplift the community, and we're just trying to find ways to do that. And so as we move forward, you will see a lot more events from us, bigger events. You will see us partnering with organizations to bring things to the community. We're going to continue our meetups, and while I love our meetups how they are now, they're usually less than 15 people. We like to try to keep it at that. I want to keep that structure, but then also build in larger meetups as well. And so Black Owned with Becks is really stepping into their event bag, I would say, and we're really trying to work and be able to showcase businesses in a different way, right? Like I love the content creation. I'm never gonna step away from that in that sense, but I know that Black Owned with Becks is bigger than just me talking to a camera. It's bigger than, me just going to that business. I want others to go to those businesses, right? That's my whole thing is, this is not just about me. This is about uplifting those businesses. And, as much as I love to say that sometimes I feel like, I'm putting my money everywhere that I can, I know that it will never be enough. You know what I mean? And so if we don't get people to actually go out and do those things as well along with you, then, what am I doing? How am I really influencing people to actually go do, right? Like you teach people, people see what you do and they learn from that, right? And, it's about, holding out your hand to bring people along with you. And so that's really what I want Black Owned with Becks to continue to be. And we have a lot of ideas and things that, we'll be working on, that might hit our 5 and 10 year plan. But right now we're really just focusing on how do we start to bring the community out? How do we start to sustain these businesses, right? Because you don't want to just, a lot of times you see a lot of businesses get hype, they get they have a viral video, people start going there and then
for a short time.
Stop showing up. How do we stop that from happening? So that's really where we're going in the next 3 years. In terms of this year, I'll talk about a few events.
Yes.
So Black Owned with Becks, like I said, we've been in our event bag. We've been loving doing our own events, but we've been partnering with people this year. Black Owned with Becks is doing 2 events in July, which is crazy because I'm literally getting married in June.
That's what I'm like. You are really gonna be like jet setting.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be wild. But we're going to be going to Essence Fest, y'all. We are doing
that's
an
incredible
activation at Essence Fest. It's such a surreal experience, and like it really has taught me that when God closes a door, He is the plans that God has for you, you will never fathom, never
at all,
never. Because like I'm gonna share this story. Really quickly. I don't know if you can share it yet, but I'm gonna share it now, and you can, edit it out if you need to. If we can't share it. But do you want to know how I landed at Essence Fest?
Yes, I absolutely.
We landed at Essence Fest, right? So I'm partnering with Buttered Body Care, and Clean Beauty for Black Girls, and essentially I was doing an event in DC. So Fun fact, I did my first event in DC last year. It was a founders event. It allowed Black-owned founders to just come together and sit and just decompress, right? Not about networking, just about getting to know each other on a more personal level, right?
Right.
And I knew I wanted to do it in DC because there were so many Black founders that I've just grown to love down there, and I just knew that I wanted to bring us all together. It was a small group, but I realized that I wanted to continue to do more things down there. And so we were setting up to do an event. I reached out to Buttered, who I did the event with originally the first time, and I said, hey, I loved what we were doing. People are asking me about it. Let's do this again, right? Let's do something else. It doesn't have to be a restaurant. Let's do something else. We planned it all out, and we reached out to New Voices Family, which is Essence's venture capital area initiative, essentially, and they help a lot of small business and small Black-owned business founders really just get their footing. It's a really great organization, and they've done so much for so many Black-owned businesses that we see out there today that have, just grown and really just bloomed, right? Mm-hmm. And Buttered is a part of that, so they're part of the New Voices Foundation. And we reached out to them to ask for help to help us put on this event.
Right.
And, they were like, we love the idea. We'll see what our team has to say, and we'll get back to you.
Right.
Then our good old president came into the picture.
Lovely.
And then Target did the BS that they did. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things had to change. And
right.
So they could not help us anymore. They could not financially support us anymore to do it.
Right.
But they were like, you know what? We love your idea so much that we want to bring this to Essence Fest. And that is how we landed at Essence Fest, because they were like, we can't financially support you with this one. We can't do it anymore because of all the other
right.
things happening. But we can get you here. We can help you get here.
A much bigger platform than you could have ever imagined.
Do you know, I've never been to Essence Fest. My hope was one day, maybe in the next few years, I'll be able to go for myself and see right. what it was like. But to know that I now get to go and do what I love, like with Black-owned, it's just a completely different experience. And I'm just realizing that God, has really, this is what I've been, put on this earth to do. Mm-hmm. Is what I truly feel like. I truly feel like God put this on my heart to do. Because the fact that he's just opening these types of doors is just outstanding. So, yeah.
I'm so excited for you. That's going to be so incredible. Yes. Essence is such a great time. Yes. I mean, the lineup alone this year is incredible. Man. But I'm just excited to see and, yes. hear what happens at your activation.
I'm so excited. Yes. I'm so excited. So, yes, I will definitely be sharing more about that, in the next coming weeks and months. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited. And then we're also doing, and this is for people here in Detroit, people here in Southeast Michigan, wherever you are. If you are close enough to Detroit, pull up. Okay, we need you to pull up in July 12th. Autism in the D, they are a Black-owned nonprofit organization that is working to build Detroit's first autism gym, autism-friendly gym. And I'm so excited. To just continue to see the things that they're doing just in Detroit alone. And I just knew that I always wanted to work with Tiara. She's an amazing, amazing individual. And so we're doing a carnival. We're doing a carnival fundraiser. It's a family-friendly event. It's going to be at the Durfee Innovation Center. We're going to have carnival games. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to just have fellowship. It's going to be an amazing time. And you can actually go on autisminthed.com and you can actually find more information there. It's gonna be an amazing, amazing time. We're still also, for those out there, we're looking for food trucks. We're looking for vendors still. If you have carnival games, we're looking for all of that. So if you have something and you're interested, please look on Autism in the D and check out what we're looking for. And we'd love to have a conversation with you. But July 12th, I'm so excited about that because this is an event that I actually get to do for the community, and I've really been wanting to do something like that. And to be able to do it with an organization that is trying to, who's a change maker, yeah. right? Like, we're looking at an organization that is focusing on making change and making big changes. And so I'm really happy to be aligned with such a brand and such an organization. So yeah,
Wow.
definitely those are the two things to be looking forward to this July. I won't go into all the rest of the details because things are still being worked out.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm very, very excited for those things. So catch me in July out and about. Okay? Out and about. But bottom line, 3-year plan, y'all gonna see Black owned Becks just continue to grow, and I'm very, very excited to see how that goes.
I love that. Yes. One, I love that you are partnering with an autism organization. That is something that is near and dear to my heart. I have family members who are on the spectrum, so yes. Anytime that I hear people supporting them and bringing new things and innovation to an area, because an autistic gym is something that I have never heard of from any part of the country.
For kids, right?
Exactly.
Like kids who need sensory play.
Exactly.
It's just the things that she's already doing. Like even still, like just her autism walks. I just always am shouting her out for just the things that she's doing for the community and how she continues to bring awareness and bring people together with her nonprofit. I'm just amazed. So yeah, no, and same, like, I have a lot of family who's on the spectrum, and so I always I love aligning myself with organizations that are not only Black owned but also do speak to a cause that is personal to me too, right? Because this is also my journey, right? And sometimes I think people think I have all the answers, and it's like, I wish I did, but this is also still my journey. Yes, I may seem further ahead than you, right? But it's not really about that, right? Because the goal is to make it work for you. And so I'm learning how to also make it work for me and help others in that too.
Exactly. I just love how pure your spirit is. Like you can see it in the way that you have talked about these businesses, the way that you have shared your own platform with these businesses, and the fact that not only have you shared your platform, but now you're channeling a whole new sector of your business and tailoring curation of whatever they need.
Yes.
Like, I love what you are doing. I am so excited to see what the next 3, 10, 20, 50 years look like for your business. Because, come on, we're thinking longevity. We're thinking bigger than Metro Detroit. We're thinking worldwide.
Okay.
We're thinking good things.
Absolutely.
But for everyone who absolutely needs to be in touch with what you are doing, support you in whatever ways, shout out your social media in any way that they can get in contact with you.
Okay, so you can find Black Owned with Becks on Instagram. We're primarily on Instagram and in person. I like to say that now. Like, okay, we not just on Instagram, okay? We like to go out and do things.
Exactly.
So if you like to go out and do things, join us, okay? And, like, stay tuned because we will be in a city near you.
Okay.
We go places, okay? We be in, like I said, we be in D.C., we be in New York. We be doing events.
Okay.
So stay tuned. Regardless of said fact, you can find us at Instagram primarily at blackownedw.becks, BECKS. You can also, you'll be able to find all of our social medias there. We're on Facebook. We are on TikTok. Kinda, you can reach out to me there. I will respond. I just don't post on TikTok as much.
TikTok is a different breed.
It's a different breed, and with what I'm doing, it can be hard to be on TikTok because I find it hard to build a community there.
Yep.
And it feels very impersonal, and so I had to take a step back from TikTok to really figure out what I want it to look like.
Makes sense
over there. So, but yeah, so you can still find me on there, reach out, and I'll respond. I will respond. And then you can always email us. And then we also have a group chat, text chat that you can text our number, and we will keep you up to date on our events. We'll keep you up to date on, just things that are happening. So you can also sign up for that as well. And you can email us too. So feel free to reach out to us any of those ways. Like I said, we are, we're on most social, that's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We're not on, X.
We don't talk about her.
Perfect.
We don't talk about her
because we're not on there, and we're also on Threads too.
We love.
If you're on Threads, I'm on Threads. So yeah, so you can find us there, and in person. So stay tuned for, like I said, more events. But we're gonna have a great time. I'm really excited just to be here. So thank you. Before I pass it back to you, I just want to say thank you for just having me here today because. I'm usually the interviewer, right? And so it was really nice to just be able to come and talk about what Black Owned Becks is for me. So thank you.
No problem, girl. You're always welcome here.
Yes, so thank you.